What is going on, guys? JJ Wilson is here, and this will be episode 3 for the JJ Starwind's Corner. Shout out to Killer J, fellow YouTuber, and a special guest on the Eternal Vintage podcast. I was looking at his recent video. It was a beat 'em up game. I forget the title, forgive me for that. But it was a beat 'em up game, and it got me thinking, you know what? I should briefly discuss my personal favorite all-time beat 'em up game. And do I need to go back to the 90s? Well, I could. I could go back to maybe not the 90s, but or even the 80s even. But yeah, like when I was a kid, Final Fight came out, and then around that same time period, Streets of Rage, and then you had the famous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games I remember very well in the arcade days. But I'm going to override all those games. Why? I want to talk about this bad boy right here. Urban Reign. Now, Urban Reign, one of the reasons why I really like this game was not just the gameplay itself, not because they just had special Tekken guest characters from the same company, Namco. I'm talking about Martial Law and Paul Phoenix. It also had one of my most favorite intros in a video game, voiced by none other than voice actor Steve Blum. Take it away, Steve, or Brad Hawk, I should say. Let him have it.
Those days are over now. My name is Brad Hawk. I'm a professional. I do things my way. I answer to no one.
You see? Now that's what you call a badass intro. Couldn't have said it more better myself. Oh, man. But yeah, basically, we'll just go over the plot a little bit. So basically, we're in a city called Green Harbor, which I guess is like reminiscent to Boston or New York City. And the town is overridden with crime. It's a very violent, chaotic place. Can get very dangerous, even in the daytime. And you have all these different gangs, these different sets and everything. But really, it centers around... there's like two parts to the story, the Urban Reign story. It revolves around a gang member, called KG. Funny enough, he's like a weed-looking redhead kid that gets beaten up by... We get to find out who in the middle part, but he gets beat up, he gets kidnapped. And the leader of the gang, Dwayne Davis, he believes that they were taken by the Chinese triads or their gang in Green Harbor, which is, they're not even a gang, they're more like a triad group. But anyway, the leader of that group was supposed to be Shun Shin Yi, but later on we found out she has an older brother. A little brother. Finds out she has a little brother who's trying to take over her position as the leader of that family in the triad group. So you meet her with her hot self, and she hires Brad Hawk to, figure out what's going on. Why were all these gangbangers trying to come up into their establishment, which is a restaurant, and they want to tear the place up when she's being falsely accused of kidnapping this guy, KG. So that's where Brad Hawk comes in. He's whooping ass, taking names and stuff. Next thing you know, he fights Dwayne Davis, beats him up, embarrasses him. The next thing, then we find out the actual part of the reason why Green Harbor is in such chaos. It's Napalm 99, and he was hired by a dude named Shinkai. I think that's his name, but he's like the main boss. But then there's also Mackenzie. So Napalm 99 is under Mackenzie, and then Shinkai's enforcer, Gollum, who's even stronger than Napalm 99. When you fight Gollum, man, he's a freaking monster, man. You thought Napalm 99 was a problem. Wait till you get across this guy. Oh, man. Man, he used to get on my nerves fighting him. But, other guys that got on my nerves were these, they were kind of like these outlandish dudes. Like, They were kind of like wanderers in the city, so to speak, but they were like ridiculously strong. Park, he's basically like Huarong. If you're familiar with Tekken, he's like a Taekwondo expert. And then there was Alex Steiner. He was like a football player turned thug, but he was like a strong thug. I mean, you couldn't mess with him either. Like, damn, he would football tackle you, power bomb you. Like, it was a pain in the neck to fight him too. Like, damn, how can a guy like this be so freaking strong? He's just a pretty boy, you know. So yeah, man. But those guys. Oh yeah, I forgot about Jake. Jake is in the beginning of the game, and there's a couple other guys. There's a dude that does capoeira named Chris. He was pretty cool. And then they had like female versions of these characters. Like Jake's girlfriend was a wrestler, Vera, and then you had I think her name was Lillian, and she was like Chris's younger sister. And then Shun Ying had like an apprentice, like a little girl, and I forgot her name. But man, like they were like bonus characters in the game that you could pick. And they were pretty fun to play with, even though they're like weaker versions of those men. And also Shun Yin Lee. But yeah, man. Really fun game, I should say. Really, really dope game. It's definitely one of my personal all-time favorite games that I played. And this is on the PlayStation 2. So it came out in '05, and I think I didn't play it until 2007. I think that's when I played Urban Reign. This is like back in my undergrad days in college. So yeah. So there it is. That's my personal favorite beat 'em up of all time, man. Urban Reign. If you haven't played it, somehow if you can dust your PS2 or find one, go ahead and give this thing a spin, man. One day I think Namco might resurrect this series, or at least make something close to it. And it'll be a beat 'em up for the ages, I think. But yeah, man. That's all I got. I'll check you all later.